Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bertemu saya lagi Yohan Draws Art. Kali ini saya ingin mengajak teman-teman semua untuk menggambar sesosok peri. Oke, langsung aja teman-teman. Yuk.
Hi everyone, it's me again. Today, my dad will draw and color forest fairy, a mythological creature. So, please sit down and enjoy the video or prepare your paper and let's draw together. When we think of magical beings living just beyond the edges of human perception, one of the first images that comes to mind is the forest fairy. These enchanting creatures have captured human imagination for centuries, appearing in folk tales, myths, and bedtime stories around the world. But who are they really? And where did they come from? What roles do they play in the realms of magic and nature? Let's take a closer look. So the idea of forest fairies stretches across cultures, each with its own interpretation. In Celtic traditions, forest fairies are believed to be part of the Aosi, a supernatural race tied deeply to the land and nature. In Slavic folklore, they take the form of woodland spirits like the Lesti. While in Indonesian and Malaysian myths, similar beings are seen as penunggu hutan, guardians who protect the balance of the forest. Many legends suggest that forest fairies are as old as the first trees. Some stories claim they were born from the very breath of the earth during the dawn of life. Others describe them as offspring of nature spirits and elemental beings, making them half mortal and half divine. Ancient Druids believed that every ancient tree was home to a fairy spirit, and when humans chopped down sacred groves, these fairies would wander, seeking new homes. Over time, as humans spread and forests shrank, forest fairies adapted, some retreating deeper into untouched lands, others learning to remain unseen in areas close to human villages. Their primary mission, according to legend, is always the same, is to protect the heart of the forest and maintain the balance between living things. Forest fairies are often described as small in size, though not always tiny enough to fit in your palm. Many stand about the height of a small child, but some accounts say that they can shift their size depending on their needs, becoming as small as a dragonfly to avoid detection, or as tall as a human when confronting threats. Their appearance blends seamlessly with the forest. Their skin may have a warm, earthy tone, shades of oak brown, moss green, or even pale bark-like gray. Their eyes often mirror the colors of their surroundings: emerald green, golden amber, deep hazel, or a rare blue that resembles forest pools. Their hair is a wonder in itself, long and flowing, sometimes tangled with wildflowers, autumn leaves, or strands of ivy. Colors range from the deep black to rich soil, to fiery red like fall leaves, to bright golden that shimmers like sunlight throughout the canopy. Clothing is crafted entirely from natural materials. Dresses might have made from overlapping petals, layered leaves, or spider silk, so fine it gleams under moonlight. In colder regions, they wear cloaks woven from moss and lichen, lined with soft animal fur, always taken in a way that doesn't harm the creature. Jewelry is made of acorns, tiny polished stones, or dew-frozen crystals. Their wings, if they have them, are one of the most striking features. Some resemble the delicate, veined wings of dragonflies, glimmering with iridescence. Others look like butterfly wings, each patterned uniquely with colors shifting slightly depending on the season. Forest fairies are deeply connected to nature, and their personalities often reflect the seasons or the specific environments they inhabit. Like spring fairies, they are always eager to help plants grow and animals thrive. Summer fairies, often standing guard against threats to their territories. Autumn fairies prepare the forest for rest. And winter fairies are focusing on preservation and quiet observation. So in general, they are kind but cautious. While they love animals and will sometimes play tricks on humans, they can be fiercely protective if their home is in danger. They are loyal to their forest families and rarely betray their own kind, but don't mistake their kindness for weakness. Folklore warns that angering a forest fairies could result in getting lost in the woods for hours or days. The ability of forest fairies vary by legend, but there are several common powers attributed to them. The first is plant manipulation. They can accelerate the growth of plants, heal damaged trees, and even cause flowers to bloom instantly. Next is animal communication. Forest fairies can speak with woodland animals, calling for help or sending messages through birds, squirrels, or even insects. They also can do camouflage, healing magic, weather influence, light manipulation, and also teleportation within nature. So these skills make them ideal guardians, able to maintain the balance of their ecosystems and protect the creatures that live within. Forest fairies appear in countless cultural stories, like in Norse mythology. Certain Alfar or elves are described as living in groves, possessing beauty and wisdom far beyond humans. Japanese folklore, while not directly called fairies, the Kodama are tree spirits with protective powers, very much like forest fairies in behavior. And in Indonesian stories, in some regions, there are tales of penunggu hutan, spirit protectors who appear to travelers in the form of small, glowing beings to guide or warn them. These stories share one theme: respect for nature. The fairy or spirit rewards those who treat the forest kindly and punishes those who harm it. Forest fairies are almost always found in places rich with life, like ancient groves, flower meadows, waterfalls, and springs, since it's a sacred places where they gather to drink or hold meetings. And then hollowed trees, while some make their homes inside massive trunks, and mushroom rings is known as fairy circles, are said to be places of magic and celebration. Forest fairies eat a surprisingly varied diet. They drink nectar from flowers, collect dewdrops for water, and enjoy fruits, berries, and nuts. Some legends say they bake small cakes from crushed acorns and honey. They also gather mushrooms and edible leaves, always taking only what they need so the forest remains abundant. Beyond their magical abilities and graceful appearances, forest fairies possess a vibrant and intricate culture, one that has been nurtured over centuries. Deep in the hidden groves, where moonlight filters like silver lace, the fairies gather in communities known as glades. These glades are not just living spaces, but the very heart of fairy life. Places where stories are exchanged, magic is practiced, and decisions affecting the forest are made. Their society is built on cooperation, with each fairy contributing according to their unique talents. Some are healers, tending to injured animals and sick plants. Others are scouts, flying silently across the forest canopy to monitor threats. A few become guardians, entrusted with the ancient spells that protect their realm from human intrusion. Leadership is often held by the eldest fairy in a glade, whose wisdom is measured not by years alone, but by their deep connection to nature's rhythm. Relationships among forest fairies are delicate but meaningful. They form strong bonds with members of their own glade, often working in pairs or small groups to amplify their magic. While they do not marry in the human sense, they engage in lifelong partnerships based on mutual respect and shared purpose. Some legends speak of rare unions between forest fairies and other magical beings, such as water nymphs or mountain spirits, creating offspring with hybrid abilities that are even more unpredictable and powerful. The life cycle of a forest fairy is a story in itself. It begins with a seed-like crystal, said to be formed from pure moonlight and forest dew, appears within the roots of an ancient tree. From this crystal, a tiny, wingless fairy emerges, no larger than a human thumb. Over decades, their wings grow, their magic strengthens, and their connection to the forest deepens. It is said that a fairy reaches their full power after their 100th of year. Though time moves differently for them, a century to humans might feel like only a season in their lives. And so I think that is all that I can share to you all about the forest fairy. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you on the next video. Over and out.